This is one badass Kong. Kong Skull Island is the second movie in the new and upcoming MonsterVerse, following 2014's Godzilla. The movie is directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts and stars Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, John Goodman, Samuel Jackson, and John C. Reilly. That's a mouthful. In this film, we have a group of people that are all put together to go investigate an uncharted island known as Skull Island. The group of people include military, scientists, and of course a tracker played by Tom Hiddleston and a photojournalist played by Brie Larson. When they finally get to the island, we get a group of people going through the jungle, and they encounter all these great cool new monsters, and of course King Kong and John C. Reilly? I had fun with this movie. I think that's the best way to put it. I enjoyed every bit of the island. All the monsters on it, all of the Kong scenes, and the environment and the lore that the movie developed for King Kong's backstory, I thought all of that was awesome. I loved that aspect of this movie, and because of that I was able to enjoy it and have tons of fun watching this movie. I really did love the way that the island looked, and they built the environment on the island, but there were times when the CGI was questionable. Kong himself and all the monsters on the island looked great. There was so much detail in all these things, and I loved the way all the monsters looked. But there were different sequences. For example, there's a sequence where we see some CGI in the sky. I'm not going to say when, because when you watch this movie you will definitely notice it. But the CGI that they do to the effects in the sky are noticeably bad, and it definitely takes you out of the movie, at least in that scene. I know a lot of people who didn't love that scene. I personally laughed at the scene, because I just thought it was kind of funny. But for the most part, the CGI in this movie is very good on the monsters, and, that's all that really matters. I will let it slip this time if the CGI on a few things, like the sky, is questionable at points, as long as Kong himself looks great, which he does. Now, something that really surprised me was John C. Reilly's character. From all the trailers and everything that they've put out for this movie in the ad campaigns, every time he appeared in them, I hesitated, because he looked a little bit out of place, to say the least. His jokes didn't really fit with the trailers. He's a comedic actor, and this seemed like a very serious movie, and I just didn't know if he was the right person for the role. After seeing the movie, I can honestly say he was the best human character in the movie. His jokes were great, his character added tons of it, and I love the origin that they made for his character and why he was on the island. He was easily my favorite human character, and I'm really impressed with John C. Reilly's performance. Now, just because John C. Reilly was good does not mean everybody else was. The weakest part of this movie was definitely the human characters. There were no human character development portions at all. We had tons of unlikable humans going onto this island and causing havoc, and their sole purpose of being there was to die. They did not add much to the story, and I don't want to blame too much on the actors, because Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel Jackson, all these people, they're great actors. But what they were given to work with in this movie, the script and dialogue, garbage. It was really not a good script. It's full of really laughable one-liners, which, are fun to hear Samuel Jackson say sometimes, but it's not realistic. The script is really poorly written and doesn't flow, and it makes all the characters sound stiff, and none of them are likable whatsoever. So when they do die, you don't care. It's as simple as that. None of them you care about. Brie Larson is there because she is female. She is a photojournalist who is female, and King Kong needs a female to connect with. Tom Hiddleston is there because they're going to an uncharted island and they need a tracker. He happens to be a tracker. That's the only thing he does in the movie. The characters don't do much at all. But what does do something is King Kong. And you come to see King Kong because that is what you came to see. And as long as he's good, I say it's a win. Because you come see Kong Skull Island and you want to see King Kong fight monsters. That's what you saw, and, it's not like 8 minutes of Godzilla. Godzilla was a great movie, but when you compare it to this, we got 8 minutes of screen time for Godzilla. King Kong, we got probably double that. And seeing him on screen was so great. He's such a good character, and they did such a great job showing all the fight sequences that I really enjoyed every time he was on screen, and it made up for the lack of character development with any of the human characters, because I don't care about them. I never wanted to care about them. I wanted to see King Kong fight monsters, and that's what I saw. I really enjoyed this movie. I came to see King Kong fight monsters. I wanted to see a popcorn flick. That's exactly what I saw. I did not come to see top-tier acting and the best performances I've ever seen. I wanted to see monsters fight monsters, and that's exactly what I saw. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 7.2 out of 10. And yeah, comment below on what you thought about it. And I'll see you next time, guys.